Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, December 15th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to Brock Purdy answering the question on everyone's lips. But first, we begin the show, as we do every show, with the injury report. And it is once again troubling, to say the least. 8 players missed practice yesterday for the Niners. Eric Armstead, Aaron Banks, which is new, Oren Burks, Ross Dwelly, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, Elijah Mitchell, who remember was limited on Wednesday, and Mooney Ward, although Ward was apparently off to the side. And defensive coordinator Steve Wilks did say he hopes Dre Greenlaw is going to be able to play against the Cardinals. Also, Spencer Burford was limited with a knee injury. And yes, you are correct. Both starting guards are on the injury report this week. Definitely some things for the Niners to overcome if they are going to win and clinch the NFC West. Now, let's get to the audio portion of the show. Brock Purdy met the media yesterday and was asked the question everybody wants to know.
Do you consider yourself a game manager?
I don't know, man. I don't want to comment on that. I'm like I said, I'm playing quarterback, trying to win games, and we'll see at the end of all of it.
If you're watching on YouTube, you could see his face in that response. He always gives the kind of aw shucks answer, but he has this little smirk when he says it. Just this little kind of look that's just like, oh yeah, you'll see. If you go on YouTube and watch it, you could see just that little twinkle in his eye. Be very interesting to see how Brock approaches this game. Now, he also talked about his relationship with Kyle Shanahan. We always know that Kyle is sort of a stickler, right? He has a tendency to kind of, I don't want to say ignore, but he doesn't focus as much on your good plays as he does harp on your bad plays. And that could get kind of grating for anybody in any walk of life. Brock, what do you think about Kyle's tendency there?
I love that kind of coaching, honestly. At the end of the day, you have a standard for yourself. You want to be consistent as best as possible. As a quarterback in the NFL, like there's little room, to mess up. And so I think if you're in the NFL and you're a quarterback, you got to be somewhat of a perfectionist. You want those 2 plays back. You want to learn from them and grow from them. If they're just telling you how great you are and stuff, there's going to be a time throughout the season at some point where you probably get exposed with maybe those little things like that. So Kyle does a great job. Obviously, all the years of coaching and experience that he has of pointing those things out and harping on them, not just to down you out or anything, but to be real and help you. And we're all trying to win, and that's what it takes. And so he does a good job with that.
Don't ignore that answer. That is a big deal. One of the most overlooked aspects of the success of a head coach quarterback combination is how their personalities kind of mesh. It is that relationship. And if you've got a guy that can't take hard coaching with a coach who gives a lot of hard coaching, you're not going to have success. But it sounds like Brock is all in on that, at least for now, which is a very, very good thing for the 49ers. One more for you, but not from Brock Purdy. This one actually comes from Steve Wilks, because Kyle Shanahan talked about how stopping Kyler Murray on the ground is different than stopping Jalen Hurts on the ground. Obviously, the Niners did that in Philadelphia. Steve, how is it different guarding against Kyler Murray on the ground?
When he gets outside the pocket, he can run. He can leave you. He can go by you. So we got to do a great job making sure we try to contain him. We felt different with Jalen, forcing him outside and not allowing him to get up vertical inside those A and B gaps, and that we can, go get him. Kyler Murray is totally different.
Kyler definitely has hurt the team with his legs in the past, but the most recent time they played in 2021, Murray had 7 carries for 1 yard. Maybe fire up that film, maybe. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday. Matt Barrows of The Athletic took a deep dive into some of the defensive changes that the Niners have made since the bye week. Apparently, the problem with Wilks earlier in the year wasn't that he changed the things that made the Niners successful in the past. The problem was that he didn't. If you want to know what I mean, click the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch, our good friend Kyle Posey is at it again with another film breakdown on his YouTube channel. This time it's the defense. And I really feel like we don't do enough defensive film breakdowns because they're not as fun to watch as the passes and the offense and the touchdowns and all that stuff. But it's really encouraging what KP talks about, including the play of Jair Brown, who looks like he could be a special, special player. One thing you may have missed yesterday was Kyle Shanahan's 44th birthday. Happy belated, coach. That, of course, makes the year he was born 1979. It's very significant to Niners fans because that is the year they hired another great coach, Bill Walsh. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. Make sure you join us bright and early, 8:15 a.m. Pacific time. I will be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch with Mimosa Michelle. We had to go a little bit earlier this week. Hope you join us. We'll break it all down from a gambling and fantasy perspective for you. And remember, Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time, you can hear me and Levin Black live on 95.7 The Game. We are going to be with you every Sunday morning for at least the rest of the regular season, previewing the Niners matchup. It's not going to be a re-air of an old podcast. It's new, original programming. So if you're in the Bay Area and you want to hear more of me and Levin, we are part of the 95.7 family. So we hope you join us for that. And of course, after the game, instant reaction podcast live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're always here for you after the game. Plenty of good stuff at the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.